All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a big one, metaphysics. I know. The word itself can sound super heavy, maybe a little intimidating, but what if I told you it all boils down to a question you've probably asked yourself 1,000 times?
No, seriously, think about it. Have you ever had that weird, sudden feeling that maybe all of this screen, the room you're in, even your own hands, might not be real? That maybe, just maybe, you're dreaming the whole thing? It's a wild thought, right? Kind of sends a shiver down your spine.
And, it's a thought that has given us some incredible stories. I mean, think about Neo choosing the red pill in The Matrix, or the crazy, mind-bending dream within a dream stuff from Inception. These movies really tap into that deep, kind of universal anxiety we all have about what's really going on.
And that, right there, is where we land. That huge, fundamental question, what is reality? Or, to put it how a philosopher might, what is being? Well, that's the absolute heart of metaphysics. It's the big one. The original question that everything else in this field just keeps circling back to.
Okay, so let's talk about that name, metaphysics. It sounds so grand, so official. But where did it even come from? Well, the story is actually kind of funny. And believe it or not, it was all basically a historical accident. First, let's just break the word down. It comes from Greek. Meta means after or beyond, and physis means nature, or, the physical world we can see and touch. So put it together, and metaphysics literally means the study of what's beyond the physical. So here's the story. Picture this. It's around 65 BC. There's this guy, a philosopher named Andronicus of Rhodes, and he has this massive job of organizing all of Aristotle's writings. So he's sorting through everything, right? He's got the books on logic, the books on physics, and then he's left with this pile of texts that don't really fit anywhere. So what he does, he literally just puts them on the shelf after the books on physics, and he labels them metaphysica, which just means the stuff that comes after the physics. That's it. It was just a library label, like uncategorized. But here's the brilliant part. The name, even though it was an accident, it stuck. And it stuck because it was just so perfect. As the philosopher Marilena Chauí puts it, the term ended up signifying the study of the very thing that makes the physical world possible in the first place, the study of the bedrock of reality itself. It was the perfect name, completely by chance. So if metaphysics is all about what's beyond the physical, what is it actually studying? Well, Aristotle himself, the guy whose books started all this, he had a different name for it, a name that gets right to the point.
He called it first philosophy, which later got the name ontology, and it's defined as the study of being as such, which, okay, what does that mean? It means it's the study of what it means for anything to exist at all. A biologist studies living beings, a physicist studies physical beings, but a metaphysician asks, what are the basic rules that apply to everything that is? It's looking at the source code of reality as a whole.
And man, right from the get-go, this led to a huge disagreement. On one side, you have this guy Parmenides. He argued that reality, with a capital R, is one single, eternal, unchanging thing. All the movement and change we see, he said that's just our senses tricking us, an illusion. But then on the other side, you have Heraclitus. He's the guy who said you can never step in the same river twice. For him, reality is constant change. Everything is always in flux. So, who do you think is right? Is the universe fundamentally stable, or is it always moving?
Now, I know this might all sound super abstract and theoretical, but this is where it gets really practical. Metaphysics isn't just about memorizing old theories. It's actually a powerful way of thinking, a toolkit, really, that any of us can use to question the world on a much deeper level.
So how do you do it? How do you adopt this metaphysical attitude? Well, it's a process. Step 1, stop assuming everything is just obvious. Step 2, start questioning those easy, common-sense answers we all fall back on. Then you start digging deeper. Is this answer really good enough? Who's giving me this answer, and why? What are they leaving out? And the big one, is the problem even being presented in its entirety?
And this is the key. This is the whole point, really. The goal isn't just to learn a bunch of theories from ancient Greece. The real value here is learning to adopt this posture of deep, radical questioning about everything. It's about developing a whole new way of seeing the world.
Okay, so let's put this toolkit to work. Let's take a super simple, totally normal, everyday experience and see what happens when we apply a little bit of this metaphysical pressure.
All right, picture this. You get home after a long, hard day at work. You just collapse on the couch, you're completely wiped out. We've all been there, right? It's just a simple, physical feeling of exhaustion.
Your first thought, the surface level thought, is just, I'm so tired. But the metaphysical approach, it doesn't stop there. It takes that feeling and turns it into a question. It pushes past the obvious and asks, why? Why am I this tired?
And once you ask that, the questions just start spiraling out. Wait a minute, why is my job set up in a way that makes me this exhausted? Who decided these were the hours we should work? That this is the kind of labor we should do? And let's be real, who is really benefiting from this whole system being structured exactly the way it is?
And suddenly, you see it. That simple feeling, I'm tired, has just cracked open a whole universe of questions. You're not just thinking about being sleepy anymore. Now you're thinking about economics, about history, about social structures, politics, the very meaning of work itself.
And that, right there, is the power of metaphysics. It's the ability to go meta, to go beyond the immediate, the physical, the superficial, and to start understanding the hidden structures and rules that actually shape our reality. It's a tool for seeing the world with brand new eyes.
So, you see, the real takeaway here isn't some dusty old theory. It's a tool. It's a way of thinking. Metaphysics teaches us to look at the world around us and instead of just accepting it as the way things are, to ask why. So I'll leave you with a challenge. What obvious part of your world are you going to question today?